Have you ever experienced body aches that appear out of nowhere? Persistent fatigue, chest tightness, or anxiety without apparent reason, even while trying to move forward with faith and strength. Often, these physical signs are not just coincidence or weakness, but silent messages from something deeper happening within you. The body speaks what the soul keeps silent, and when emotions are repressed for too long, they find a way to express themselves through the body. Have you ever experienced this? Perhaps you've learned to swallow your feelings, to smile when you wanted to cry, to say everything is fine when, inside, something was screaming for attention. What you're about to discover may surprise you, because emotional repression doesn't disappear with time. It accumulates, transforms, and often manifests as pain, tension, or a discomfort that's difficult to explain. Stay with me until the end, because understanding this connection between emotions, body, and faith can change how you perceive these signs. When emotional silence seems like strength, the body begins to carry a weight it wasn't made to bear. And before these signs become more intense, it's important to listen to what they're trying to say, because the way the body starts to scream reveals a lot about what has been silenced for so long. And perhaps as you listen to this, some part of your body is reacting silently, as if recognizing these words. Because when emotions are kept inside for too long, they don't disappear. They settle in, weigh you down, and begin to manifest in subtle ways. If this topic resonates with you, leave a comment below about what has touched you the most so far, or if you've noticed any signs in your body that you've never been able to properly explain. Sharing your experience can help others who are going through the same path, even silently. And if this content is helping you see your emotions more clearly, liking the video is a simple but very important way to get this message to those who also need to hear it. Your participation here is what makes this channel grow and reach more people who carry similar pains but don't yet know how to name them. Subscribing to the channel is a way to walk alongside me on this journey of self-discovery, faith, and emotional healing, because we still have much to discuss about what the body reveals when the soul is silent. And it is precisely from there that our reflection continues. Many people have learned throughout their lives that suppressing emotions is a sign of strength, that not crying is maturity, that moving forward without questioning is faith. And little by little, this pattern becomes an automatic, almost invisible mindset, as if silencing what hurts were the only possible decision for emotional survival. But there is a hidden truth in this process. Emotional silence doesn't disappear, it accumulates. What is not internally acknowledged begins to transform into weight, into constant tension, into a weariness that cannot be explained simply by routine. Often, in the name of a misunderstood faith, pain is repressed as if feeling were a sign of spiritual weakness, when in fact it is part of the human journey. This internal conflict generates a profound impact, because the soul continues to feel even when the mind tries to justify or minimize it. Behind the scenes of daily life, unexpressed emotions shape decisions, influence reactions, and alter how the body responds to the world. It's like carrying an invisible backpack full of untold stories, unnamed fears, and swallowed tears. And the more time passes, the heavier it becomes. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because understanding how this silence forms is essential for any real transformation. There's a point where emotional repression ceases to be protection and becomes a prison, affecting how you relate to yourself, to others, and even to God. When faith is used to stifle feelings, something inside begins to ask for more honest revelations, for truer listening, for a path to healing that doesn't involve denial but acceptance. And that's exactly where this conversation begins to gain another depth, because recognizing this weight is the first step to understanding what it's trying to reveal. If this makes sense to you, comment below. This makes sense to me. There's a very common idea that the body fails, gets sick, or hurts without warning, as if everything happens by chance. But when we observe more closely, we realize that the body rarely makes mistakes. It responds. It reacts to an internal story that has been silently built in the background of emotional life. The body is a faithful messenger of the soul, and physical signs usually appear exactly where something hasn't found space to be felt, spoken, or embraced. constant tension, recurring pains, tightness in the chest, shortness of breath, extreme fatigue. None of this appears out of nowhere. They are forms of communication when the mind can no longer sustain what has been repressed for so long. There is a hidden truth in this process. The body holds emotional memories, unelaborated decisions, interrupted feelings. It registers the impact of choices made to please, to survive, to maintain an image of strength. And the longer this journey of silence, the more the body assumes the role of spokesperson. Now I want to go even deeper into this subject because understanding this body language completely changes the mindset with which you view your own symptoms. This isn't about guilt or fragility, but about awareness. When emotions aren't acknowledged, the body finds alternative ways to express them, as if saying, something here needs to be seen. This understanding brings transformation because it shifts the focus from fighting against the body to listening to what it reveals. And as this listening happens, new revelations emerge, opening space for more honest decisions, for a more integrated faith, and for a more compassionate relationship with oneself. It is at this point that the body's message begins to make sense, preparing the ground to understand which signals it chooses to use and why. If this resonates with you, comment below. I'm on this journey too. When emotions are repressed for too long, the body begins to use increasingly clear signals to make itself heard. Recurring pains arise without an apparent cause, come and go, change location, as if the body were trying to find an escape route. Muscle tension settles in the shoulders, neck and jaw, creating a constant stiffness that many people no longer even notice because it has become part of their routine. Digestive problems appear as a direct reflection of swallowed emotions, decisions made at the limit, and unspoken truths. The body reacts to what the mind tries to control. Extreme fatigue is also a common sign in this silent journey. It's not just physical, it's an exhaustion that doesn't improve with rest because it stems from continuous emotional overload. Insomnia follows as a consequence of this mind that won't switch off, this body that remains on alert, holding on to stories that never found space to be processed. Chest tightness and shortness of breath are often frightening, but they are often direct responses to repressed emotions, old fears, and impacts accumulated over time. There's a hidden truth in all of this. These symptoms are more common than you might think, especially in people who have learned to be strong, responsible, and spiritually firm, even when something inside was crying out for attention. Behind the scenes of emotional life, the body takes on tasks that aren't its own, carrying the weight of unrecognized feelings. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because recognizing these signs changes the mindset with which you look at your own body. Instead of seeing these symptoms as enemies, the possibility begins to emerge of seeing them as messages, as part of a transformation process that demands attention and listening. Each sign carries a specific impact, a story, an unmet need, paving the way for important revelations about your own journey. It is at this point that understanding these symptoms ceases to be frightening and becomes enlightening, opening space to understand what the body is trying to communicate when the soul has been silent for so long. If this resonates with you, comment below. This makes sense to me. There's a delicate point where many people end up getting lost without realizing it. When faith begins to be confused with emotional denial, the idea that feeling sadness, fear, anger, or spiritual weariness is a sign of little faith creates a dangerous mentality that gradually distances the person from themselves. Behind the scenes of this journey, spirituality ceases to be a refuge and becomes a demand. Instead of embracing pain, it's swept under the rug with ready-made phrases, verses used as shields, and decisions, made more to maintain the appearance of strength than to live the inner truth. But there's a hidden truth in all of this. God never asked for emotional silence, He asked for truth. When faith is used to stifle feelings, something essential breaks. The person prays but doesn't surrender, believes but doesn't allow themselves to feel. And this distancing generates a profound impact because the heart becomes tired, disconnected, as if living a lifeless spirituality. feeling is not a lack of faith, it's part of the human and spiritual experience. Emotions don't deny God, they reveal needs. The danger lies precisely when pain is over-spiritualized and listened to too little. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because this confusion between faith and emotional repression alters how you relate to God, to your own decisions, and to your identity. Transformation begins when faith ceases to be a place of escape and becomes a safe space for truth. A mature faith does not silence the heart. It sustains it while it feels. And when this understanding begins to emerge, something changes inside. The spiritual journey gains more honesty, more depth, and more meaning. It is at this point that repression loses its power and spirituality ceases to be a burden, preparing the ground to see how all this manifests in the body and in life in an even clearer way. If this resonates with you, comment below. I'm on this journey too. Even when the body begins to give clear signals, many people choose to ignore them. Not out of a lack of intelligence or sensitivity, but out of fear. Fear of appearing weak, of disappointing those who expect constant balance, of admitting that something is wrong when everyone believes you are strong in faith and steadfast in life. Gradually, a silent mentality emerges that says, feeling too much is an exaggeration, that stopping to listen to the body is a lack of discipline, that admitting emotional pain is a sign of spiritual immaturity. This hidden truth shapes internal decisions almost without the person realizing it. The habit of remaining silent becomes an unconscious pattern. You feel, but you minimize. The body warns, but you rationalize. The pain appears, but you postpone it. Behind the scenes of this journey, there is a constant attempt to maintain an image of control, while inside something accumulates. Ignoring the body's signals becomes an emotional survival strategy, not a conscious choice. In the long run, this has a profound impact because the body learns that it will only be heard when it screams louder, and it learns quickly. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject because understanding why you remain silent is essential for any true transformation. It's not just about courage, but about conditioning. Many people have been taught to swallow discomfort from a young age, to prioritize others, to avoid trouble, to be an example. Over time, this posture becomes their identity. The journey of listening begins when you realize that silence no longer protects you, it only distances you from yourself. And when this realization arises, it opens space for important revelations about how the body reacts when it doesn't find permission to speak. There is something very significant happening before the final scream, something that deserves attention and care. If this makes sense to you, comment below. This makes sense to me. There's a silent limit that the body respects for a long time until it simply can't anymore. Initially, the signals are subtle, almost polite. A discomfort here, a tension there, a tiredness that seems too normal to attract attention. But when these subtle warnings are repeatedly ignored, the body changes the way it communicates. Not out of drama nor out of weakness, but out of necessity. It intensifies the message because it realizes that only in this way will it be heard. This is a hidden truth that is part of the human experience. The body learns from our listening. If there is no response, it increases the volume. Behind this dynamic, there is a clear request for a pause, for a review of mindset, for decisions more aligned with one's own inner truth. Now, I want to go even deeper into this subject because understanding this process can prevent greater suffering along the journey. The body doesn't intensify the signals to scare, but to protect. The sooner you listen, the less impact is needed to generate transformation. When listening happens late, the body needs to use more extreme resources to interrupt patterns that no longer serve. And this can manifest as emotional crises, profound exhaustion, symptoms that force you to stop and rethink your choices. Not as punishment, but as an invitation. An invitation to honesty, to care, to reconnect with what has been ignored for too long. Listening early is an act of self-love and also of spiritual wisdom. It's recognizing that you don't need to reach your limit to allow yourself to take care of yourself. This understanding changes the impact of pain because it ceases to be an enemy and becomes a messenger. When you start listening before the scream, something reorganizes itself inside. The journey becomes more conscious, gentler, more aligned with who you really are. And it is precisely at this point that understanding the body ceases to be fear and becomes revelation, opening space to talk about how this listening can transform into healing. If this resonates with you, comment below. This makes sense to me. When listening truly begins to happen, something realigns itself within. It's not a magical or instantaneous process, but it is profoundly transformative. Healing listening is born when body, soul, and faith stop walking separately and begin to converse with each other. Listening to what you feel, without judgment, is already a powerful first step. Unrecognized emotions continue to act behind the scenes, influencing decisions, shaping mindset, and impacting the body in silent ways. When you allow yourself to feel without running away, something begins to organize itself internally. Honest prayer comes in exactly there, not as a beautiful speech, but as a safe space where it's not necessary to hide the pain. Talking to God as you are, with tiredness, confusion, or even silence, creates a real bridge between faith and emotional truth. Embracing your own pain is not surrendering to it, but recognizing that it carries an important message about your journey. Conscious silence is also part of this process. Not empty silence, but the kind that allows you to hear what is normally muffled by haste and external noise. In this space, many revelations emerge, not as ready-made answers, but as clarity for the next steps. Emotional support, whether from someone you trust or a safe environment, strengthens this integration. No one was made to go through profound processes alone. When body, emotions, and faith align, pain loses its role as an enemy and becomes an instrument of growth. Transformation happens because you stop fighting against what you feel and begin to walk alongside it with more awareness and compassion for yourself. Now, I want to go even deeper into this subject because this reconnection not only alleviates symptoms, but changes how you position yourself in life, in choices, and in the challenges that still arise along the way. It is at this point that healing ceases to be just relief and becomes continuous construction. If this reflection spoke to you, comment below. I'm on this journey too. Perhaps what you're feeling isn't weakness, nor lack of faith, nor an inability to cope with your own life. Perhaps it's simply excess. Excess of demands, responsibilities, expectations that have accumulated without you having time to breathe between one thing and another. There's a hidden truth in all this that almost no one talks about. Strong people also get tired. Spiritual people also get exhausted. And this doesn't diminish who they are. On the contrary, it reveals how much more weight they have been carrying than they should alone. When emotional overload sets in, it messes with your mindset, confuses decisions, and makes everything seem harder than it really is. Not because you've lost your ability, but because you've been operating at your limit for too long. There's a silent impact in this, happening behind the scenes of your routine, in repetitive thoughts, in the constant feeling of alert. And yet you keep going. That already says a lot about your strength, even if it's now tired. Spiritual fulfillment begins when you understand that God doesn't ask for performance from you, He offers rest. It's not about enduring a little longer, it's about learning to let go of what wasn't meant to stay in your hands. Normalizing emotional suffering isn't about accepting it, it's about stopping the fight against yourself. There's a healing journey that begins precisely at this point of inner honesty, where you admit you need care. This awareness changes everything because it opens space for real transformation. Not the forced kind, but the kind that springs from relief. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject because understanding the root of this overload reveals a lot about patterns, choices, and paths that can be adjusted with more lightness and truth. If this resonated with you, comment below. This makes sense to me. Perhaps now is the quietest and, at the same time, most powerful moment of this entire conversation. Because when we slow down for a few moments, we begin to realize that the body has never been an enemy in this story. It doesn't scream to punish, It signals to protect. Every tiredness that appears, every tightness in the chest, every tension that insists on staying is not punishment, it's misinterpreted care. There's a hidden truth here that completely changes how you see yourself. The body speaks when the soul has already tried to warn. In other ways, it carries the memory of postponed decisions, swallowed emotions, journeys lived on autopilot. And the more we ignore these signals, the louder they need to be. Not out of cruelty, but out of love for the life that still wants to flow in balance. This perception generates real transformation because it changes the mentality of struggle to a mentality of listening. Instead of asking, "Why me?" a more honest question arises, "What needs to be seen?" In the background of routine, that's where a profound reconciliation with oneself begins, where faith, emotions, and body stop competing and start walking together. The impact of this isn't immediate, but it's consistent. It manifests in more conscious choices, clearer boundaries, and a gentler relationship with your own rhythm. Now I want to delve even deeper into this subject, because when you learn to listen to what you feel, you discover important revelations about who you have been and who you can still become. Before continuing, let this reflection resonate within you. If your body could summarize everything it has tried to tell you so far in a single sentence, what would it be? If it makes sense, comment below. I'm on this journey too. If all of this resonated with you on some level, it makes sense to continue walking this path together. This channel exists precisely to delve deeper into reflections like this, calmly, truthfully, and with real-life relevance. So subscribing is just a way to not miss the next conversations that follow this same journey. If you want, leave a comment writing "This message was for me," just so I know you've made it this far with me and felt the impact of all this. And if this video created any connection within you, a like already helps a lot to keep this space alive. There's a video here that complements this topic and further deepens this inner listening. Click on it and continue with me there.